All right, let's get right into it. There is a massive change coming to the world of global trade, and it is all about plastic. You see, starting January 1st, 2028, the way we track, trade, and even think about plastic waste across borders is getting a complete and total rewrite. Now, this is a really big deal for anyone in the supply chain, so let's break down exactly what's happening. Just think about that for a second. A passport that details exactly what a piece of plastic is, where it's from, and where it's supposed to be going. It sounds a little bit like science fiction, right? But it gets right to the heart of this huge problem we have. Right now, it is incredibly difficult to track plastic waste, and that makes it almost impossible to manage and recycle responsibly. So this is the core problem the global community is really trying to solve.
The current system for classifying plastic waste is just, well, it's way too vague. And this ambiguity became a massive issue back in 2019 when a major international agreement, the Basel Convention, was updated to get a better handle on the international movement of plastic waste. The idea was great, but customs agents and businesses were left trying to fit these complex new environmental rules into a really outdated classification system.
So the Basel Convention created these new environmental lanes for plastic waste, one for hazardous stuff and another for clean, recyclable plastics. The trouble was, the old customs codes just didn't have nearly enough detail to match up with these new rules. It was kind of like trying to sort mail with only the country name, but no city, no street, no house number. The two systems just couldn't talk to each other properly. And this is where the harmonized system, or HS, comes into the picture. You can think of it as the universal language for global trade. Pretty much every single product that crosses a border has an HS code. So these upcoming HS2028 amendments are a huge update, and they're designed to get this critical trade language perfectly in sync with our global environmental goals. And it really is a full-on system upgrade. This isn't just about adding a few new numbers here and there. Nope. It's a complete overhaul designed to provide the clarity and the data we need to actually enforce environmental policies like the Basel Convention. It's about making global trade a partner in sustainability instead of a blind spot. Okay, so what is actually changing? What's the nitty-gritty? Well, at the very core of this whole update is a complete teardown and rebuild of Heading 3915, which is the main classification for all plastic waste. And when I say complete, I mean it. Heading 3915, which covers all waste, pairings, and scrap of plastics, is being rebuilt from the ground up. The old, simple, and kind of vague categories are gone. They're being replaced by a much smarter, more descriptive structure. So the new logic is kind of like a flowchart. First it asks, is the waste hazardous? If it's not, then is it a clean, single type of plastic, like PET or polyethylene? Or is it something more complex, like a halogenated polymer or a specific mix of plastics? Each of these paths leads to a very different, very specific code. It's really like we're moving from a blurry, low-resolution picture to a crystal-clear, high-definition one. Before, you could kind of lump various plastics together. But after 2028, that ambiguity is just gone. The system demands precision. Now, what's really fascinating here is how this new structure basically mirrors the Basel Convention. These new codes for clean, single polymer streams, the most valuable stuff for recycling, they directly align with Basel's category for non-hazardous, easy-to-recycle plastics. This creates a clear, legal superhighway for the circular economy. Okay, this right here is a critical, game-changing rule. In the past, it was pretty common practice to just classify a big bale of mixed plastics by whatever material was the most dominant. Well, that's not allowed anymore. If it's a mix, it has to be declared as a mix under its own specific code. This rule alone is going to radically change how plastics are sorted and traded. That is an excellent question. And while the changes to Heading 3915 are definitely the main event, the impact of HS2028 goes much, much further than that. This software update we've been talking about, it extends way beyond just bulk scrap. It's going to touch everything from the single-use plastic products we use every day to the actual machinery that makes recycling happen. And this is huge. For the very first time, the HS system will have a legal definition for single use. What does that mean? It means manufacturers will now have to classify their products, things like straws, containers, and tableware, as either single-use or multi-use. This gives governments the hard data they need to actually monitor and regulate these products effectively. And check this out. Even the tools of the circular economy are getting their own specific codes.
This new subheading, 847630, is exclusively for reverse vending machines. You know, those automated machines that collect bottles and cans for recycling? By giving them a single global code, the system provides stability and simplifies trade for the very companies building out our global recycling infrastructure. It's a pretty big deal.
So, if you handle plastics in any form, what does all of this mean for you? How do you actually prepare for this new world of classification? Let's get practical.
The most fundamental takeaway for any business is this. Simply declaring what you think your material is won't be enough anymore, not by a long shot. Customs authorities are going to require proof. You're going to need technical specifications, chemical analyses, and information about your processes to back up whatever HS code you choose. And you absolutely can and should start preparing right now. Go through your current plastic streams and start figuring out where they'll fit in the new system. Start building your evidence locker. Get that paperwork ready to prove your classifications. And critically, talk to your IT department about updating your master data systems, because January 2028 will be here before you know it. Just let that sink in for a moment. This isn't just a simple customs update, it's a real philosophical shift. Global trade is moving away from a system of trust-based declaration to one of evidence-based verification, especially when we're talking about environmentally sensitive materials like plastic. We started with this question, and that's where we're going to end. Because after January 1st, 2028, that's the world we're all going to be living in. And the businesses that are going to thrive will be the ones that have their documents in order and are ready to prove that they're part of the solution to our global plastic problem.